Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the man, myth, the legend, Mr. Dan Bird. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. How are you? How's your
I'm
weekend?
doing. Oh, it's been awesome. So I had my first one rental at a time mastermind event, 8 hours, experts Q&A, no PowerPoint. It was awesome. I enjoyed it. It was
Wow,
fun. Yeah, yeah. Can
nice.
you imagine a full day no PowerPoint? You and I used to do. I mean, PowerPoint was how we communicated. It was crazy.
Yep.
Uh,
How,
but
how was uh how was the turnout?
oh, it was awesome. 200 people, 210, something like that. It's pretty cool. It was a lot of
Nice.
fun. Yeah.
I did a
Uh,
presentation yesterday on cutting the cable cord
yeah. How'd that go?
in my community. We had about 60 people.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was
Yeah.
very good. It was they were all everybody was energized. They're
Nice.
ready to storm Comcast.
Ah, get me out. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. Well, hey, we teased this at the end of episode one. We're going to talk about FTX. You have some charts on Bitcoin, things of that nature. Before we get there, I actually just want to ask a uh, a basic question. So, no question, FTX is a fiasco. It's now bankrupt. It's kaput. It's terrible. When I look at FTX and what has transpired, I think there's one of three things it could be. It's clearly bad. One is it could be Bernie Madoff, which was always a Ponzi scheme. Two, it could be Enron, which was a fraudulent company doing nefarious things until it got caught. Or it could be Lehman, which Lehman was just got caught in a with huge leverage in an
Leverage. Too much
ill
leverage.
yeah, too much leverage in an illiquid market, and then went kaput. So of those three, do you think it's one clearly one or the other, or do you not have thoughts on that?
Um, I I don't think it's Lehman
Yeah, it's not Lehman.
from
I
the
don't think it
from
is.
the perspective. I mean, it's Lehman from the perspective of leverage, but it's not Lehman from the perspective of it bleeding over to the rest of the financial market.
Okay.
Crypto is just not big enough for that to happen. So I don't think it's going to affect the rest of the economy like Lehman did. Lehman was just one small piece of the puzzle. There were others as well.
Mhm.
I think it could be a Bernie Madoff. I think that is has very much has potential. And let me just put that into perspective for a second. And here's why I make that analogy, that comparison. Bernie Madoff did not start out meaning to defraud people.
Yeah, he had several years where, yeah, correct. Hmm.
He was perfectly serious and wanted to help people, wanted to help their money grow, and that's really what he wanted to do. I think it got too big for him. It got so big that he had to start hiding things. And it became a Ponzi scheme because it's the only way he could keep it going was to get new money in. Right. So, from that perspective, I think the FTX is similar.
Okay.
I think Sam Friedman was doing the same thing. I don't think he started off to defraud people. I think he started off with all the best intentions to create a crypto exchange, and he created his own cryptocurrency. I think he had every intention of, you know, building a good business over time. And he just made some pretty stupid mistakes. And that's where the comparison to Enron comes in, where he started doing some things that were just bad business. And the best of the best out there, Sequoia Capital, couldn't even identify it. Just like with Enron, you know, the big analysts out there didn't see what Enron was doing until Enron started crashing. Same thing with FTX. So Sequoia had to write off their whole investment, 210 million.
Yep.
Um, you would
Although,
think that you
yeah.
think they'd be
I,
smart enough to figure it out, right?
how about Mr. Wonderful? Mr. Wonderful lost like 12 or $15 million, right? A well-known investor.
Yeah.
Lots of people didn't see this coming.
Lots of people got caught up in it, caught up in the into the crypto hype, and
Hype,
it's not
hype,
over. I
hype
mean, I think
machine to the moon, baby.
this could just be the first shoot to fall.
Oh yeah. There's
Um,
the unfortunate thing of this is there are people that their money was in there in the exchange, and now they can't get it out. They can't make payroll. They can't do this. They can't. There's this contagion is just started.
yeah,
Just started. Actually, I haven't even checked it because again, crypto trades 24/7. I haven't even checked this morning.
yeah. I'm going to show Bitcoin.
All right,
We're going to talk.
go
We're
for it.
going to talk about all of this actually.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I took a left turn.
So it's a really good. All three of those were good analogies. Um, this is my newsletter for anyone that's interested. I send this out for free. It's basically the research that I do each week, and I just put it all together and share it with folks. There's no charge. Breakpoint, send me a note to breakpointtrading@gmail.com, and I'll send you this week's, and I'll add you to next week's.
Mhm.
And this is Bitcoin and Ethereum down here at the bottom. We're going to talk about those charts. You
Okay.
can see, you can kind of see, last week right there. That's a
That's
weekly
what
chart.
a cliff looks like, in case anybody's wondering.
A what?
Cliff fell off a cliff.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's multiple cliffs here, but yeah, it's falling off another cliff.
Yeah, bouncing down the mountain and down again.
Right. Yeah. So interestingly, let me go. This is my newsletter right here. Let me go to right here. So I put an article in here that kind of explains what happened with FTX. Could the crisis spill over to the rest of crypto? I think it already has.
Yes.
Balance sheet of this is an excerpt out of this article. Balance sheet of Alameda, which is a hedge fund that's owned by Sam Bankman-Fried. Okay, so follow this. He owns the hedge fund.
Mm-hmm.
The hedge fund buys his cryptocurrency, which is FTT. So his hedge fund that he owns buys his crypto and then uses the crypto as collateral to get loans
That's just crazy.
to buy more crypto.
Yeah, there's I
So,
want to give credit to this analyst. I want to find her. Where is she? Oh yeah, Lynn Alden. She's somebody I follow on Twitter. So Lynn is Lyn Alden
oh yeah,
Alden.
I think I follow her too,
So
actually.
she put out this post the other day and made it so awesome. So I want to take what you just said, which is absolutely correct, and just change some of the words.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of FTT, we're going to call those clown bucks. And
Okay.
instead of FTX, we're going to call it McDonald's.
Okay.
So McDonald's creates these clown bucks, and they give these bucks have value, right? They spend like dollars, right? But they're clown bucks. They got the picture of Ronald McDonald. They're just clearly clown bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And some of their close relationships, the people that own McDonald's, they buy them. So there's a proven trade, a slim margin but proven trade. Over time, these clown bucks get into the community and they're given out, and then they have value, and then you put them on your balance sheet of McDonald's because of course you created them so you can create lots of them, and now they have value, and you do the multiplication. You have billions of dollars of assets on your balance sheet. Then you go and borrow dollars from the US government or Sequoia or Mr. Wonderful, because, of course, you have a rock solid balance sheet with all of this real money wealth on it. And then over time, what happens is Starbucks, for whatever reason, gets a couple of clown bucks. And they're like, what the hell are these crazy pieces of paper? I'm going to take these clown bucks back to McDonald's and get some dollar bills. At which point that Starbucks realizes there's no liquidity and I can't get my money back. They send out a tweet saying they're going to sell, they want to get rid of their clown bucks, and then there's a bank run, then your balance sheet collapses, then you have all this debt with no assets because your balance sheet was shit all the time, and people wonder why this blew up. It blew up because this garbage is clown bucks. That's the same thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty good analogy. The only flaw I see in it is that with that analogy, you potentially could go back to McDonald's and get a Big Mac, Where
Right.
with
Fair enough.
FTX, you can't get anything.
Yeah, there's nothing. That is fair. Yes.
There is nothing behind it.
Yeah. There
So
is. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very, very. But yeah,
so let me quote what I said. Did you read my newsletter this week, by the way? It's okay
I
if you didn't.
was at it was at my event. I'm sorry, I haven't read it.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were busy. So this is the excerpt. If this were the case, a fall of FTT's value could damage both businesses, so the hedge fund and given their
Yeah.
shared
Duh.
ownership. But
Duh.
FTT itself had no value beyond FTX's longstanding promise to buy any tokens at $22, prompting fears that the whole institution was a castle built on sand.
Yep.
So here's what I then said in my newsletter. So kind of like if the US government printed dollars, then sold them to the Federal Reserve, who then borrowed against them by selling bonds. Oh, wait, never mind.
Oh, that's funny.
So while that analogy is actually accurate, the difference is that the US dollar is the world's reserve currency, so we can get away with it for now.
For now, yeah, exactly.
It's the greater fool theory. First, the value of a crypto is of any crypto, not just FTX's crypto. The value of a crypto is only worth what a buyer is willing to pay for it. The greater fool theory, which like tulips or Bernie Madoff, much like tulips or Bernie Madoff investments. And I could have added Enron there too. Second, how easy it is sometimes to fool even seasoned investors. Sequoia Capital has written off all of their $210 million investment in FTX very shortly after espousing how brilliant the founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, was. In fact, it was only 1 week after they said how brilliant he was.
Mm-hmm.
They had to write it all off. By the way, they also are a major investor in Elon Musk and the Twitter deal. Sequoia is.
Yeah, that Twitter deal is looking worse and worse.
Yeah, it is for now, but I think it probably will get better.
Oh,
But this is similar. I don't know if you've ever looked at the Nikola story.
Yep.
Similar to the scam that was Nikola. Unbelievable story in another American Greed episode. I expect FTX to be an American Greed episode as well.
Oh, it should be already in the works. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So do you know the story of Nikola?
No.
So Nikola is they wanted to compete with Tesla.
Oh, yeah, the car. Yeah, yeah.
Now these
yeah,
are trucks. These are trucks.
Yeah, he showed the truck rolling downhill, and he made all these crazy.
Showed that he didn't say that it was rolling downhill. He just
No,
showed
no.
the truck driving along a highway. Just so happened that there was no engine in the truck, and they found a really long stretch of road that was downhill. And when they filmed it, they made it look like it was uphill, but the truck was just rolling. There was no engine.
Oh, that's.
And then when they showed it at an exhibition, they let the reporters get inside and look at the dashboard. The dashboard was all lit up with really cool stuff. Well, if you look really closely, and in the American Greed episode, they actually showed it. There's a wire running down next to the wheel under the floor, and they were controlling all of the panels from computers underneath the floor under the truck.
Oh, that's criminal.
And the guy that started Nikola got millions and millions of dollars from investors for that company. Yeah. A complete sham company. It still exists though. You can still buy
this won't be the last one. FTX is not the last scam. There'll be more. It's just we got to remember that when anything comes out with hype and it's all to the moon and it becomes a cult, that's a red flag.
Well, yes, it's a big red flag. More importantly, you have to be careful about companies that you can't verify their earnings, and they could even Enron lied about their earnings.
Oh, it took out an audit firm. The audit, and I say this as someone who lost wealth because of Enron. I got burned. I was a stockholder.
Right.
And they had audited financials. I could read a financial statement. I'm more in depth than maybe the average. You couldn't tell. It had the stamp of, I think, Arthur Anderson at the time.
Right.
Who also got put out of business because they didn't catch the fraud. Yeah, if the CEOs wants to do bad things and they have 3 or 4 other people willing to do bad things, it could happen.
But that is the issue, and I talked about it in the newsletter. I don't know if I can show that. That's really the issue with having an unregulated
Yeah,
currency.
do you want to know two things that people have found in the last 48 hours that just annoy the shit out of me?
What's
So
that?
in the last 48 hours after the FTX blow up, they have now identified the CEO or CFO of FTX. Apparently, he is a known criminal and felon who was caught in a Ponzi scheme before. Something to do with poker. All right,
Mhm.
well, that's probably not a good sign when your CFO is a criminal.
You would
And
think.
then there, again, I didn't validate this, but Meet Kevin, a huge channel who's known to do his research, found that the CPA firm that's approving the quarterly statements uh, doesn't really exist except in the metaverse.
In
And,
the
that's
metaverse, and the metaverse doesn't even exist.
exactly. I mean, these are red flags. If you were to look into these a month ago, you should be asking yourself, do I want to put my money in FTX because the CFO is this and this is that? But again, Sequoia, 210 million bucks. I can't believe Sequoia didn't say, your CFO? Really? You have a CFO who's a criminal? I don't think I'm not going to give you 210 million bucks. Go get a better CFO. I can't believe nobody asked that.
Right,
There's no board. There is no
right.
board of directors. I can't believe $210 million from Sequoia went to a company because somebody had bushy hair and dressed like shit. And he was, he had a good story.
Yeah,
There's a story of Sam Bankman-Fried talking to hedge funds or private equity. And apparently the private equity guys are messaging each other back and forth. Hey, this guy's a genius. I love what he's talking about, blah, blah, blah. Apparently one of Sam Bankman-Fried's, I don't know, coworkers or friends goes, wow, he's really killing it. He's having I want to go see what he's doing. So he walks around and Sam Bankman-Fried is playing World of Warcraft or something.
yeah, that's right.
Let me just tell you, if that's the behavior of the guy who's trying to raise money and he's just treating this as a game and telling you a story, I mean, come on. He's not a genius because he can sing a song and play a video game at the same time. He's a
Well,
freaking criminal.
another big red flag is when he was looking for a base for his company, for
And
his
he goes to the
headquarters.
Bahamas.
He looks all over the world and settles on the Bahamas, which is the one place in the world that's probably most friendly to scams.
And oh, by the way, there's loopholes that apparently people in the Bahamas are now trying to get. It's just these are all red flags. And yes, it was the second largest exchange and all that. But folks, there were greed. I mean, when you think you're going to make a ton of money and greed takes over, you don't dig deep. And it didn't even take long for people to find this. It is a sad, sad story.
That's right. So the lesson with this, and I had a newsletter, I don't know, a month or so ago, where I talked about the banking system, the fractional banking system,
I remember.
and how everybody with crypto, Bitcoin, that's really where it started, but crypto in general espouses the value of crypto because it is unregulated
Yeah.
and it can't be controlled
Yeah.
by the Federal Reserve or the banks, can't be controlled. So, we are all free across the world to do business with each other. And that's, in a perfect world, that's the way it should be. While that may be true, we don't live in a perfect world, and that's not the planet that we live on. And all cryptos, not just FTX, all cryptos have the potential of ending up like this, with maybe the exception of 3 or 4. Bitcoin, Ethereum, might be 1 or 2 others that actually might survive, but they're going to be taken down with the rest of the crypto market, which actually you can see right here on the chart that I'm showing.
Yeah.
That's the Bitcoin chart. You can see right there at the end.
Yeah, can you do me a favor? I don't know if you're prepared for this, but something I wanted to look at was a stock. I want to look at a stock, if you don't mind. Do you have that
Sure.
set up?
Yeah.
I want to look at coin because when this all
Oh, yeah,
transpired,
I actually did look at coin, and surprisingly, it's actually recovering pretty nicely.
yeah, because when I look at all this fiasco, I think there are going to be a large percentage of losers. and I actually said this, I think, on my daily financial news Thursday or Friday. I think coin as a stock and Bitcoin could benefit from this fiasco.
They will suffer at first,
Correct.
but they will probably benefit in the long run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Exactly. So I was
Yes.
wondering where coin looks at, because I actually meant to buy some Friday, but I got distracted with my event, and I was curious how coin looks today.
Coin actually did pretty good on Friday. It had a nice bounce on Friday.
Yeah, I haven't
See it right
been
there.
too busy.
Let's see if I can. Let me show you there's 1 minute. Let's do a 5-minute chart. So here's so that's Friday. Here's Thursday with the big run up. So coin actually did pretty well. If we look at a long-term 5-year, they haven't been around for very long, but they're near the bottom.
Okay.
Right now of their.
Yeah. So I think there's so basically yeah. So what is it trading at today?
57.
In the lows 44. Okay. I got it.
57.46. Yeah. Lows 44.
Yeah. So I think there's one of the things about cryptos is 24/7. So I think it's having a pretty weak Sunday. Again, I just share everything I'm doing. I'm looking at coin not as I think right now I actually heard Brian Armstrong, which I believe is the CEO's name, on the All In podcast. He said something that really resonated with me. He said that 95% of crypto transactions happen offshore, out of the U.S.
That's right. Yeah.
And I look at this going, okay, well, half the transactions are going to disappear because this shit is garbage. But there's the other 50%, and I'm guessing coin will benefit from the regulations because it is onshore. It's not hidden in the Bahamas. And I'm like, wow, if I look at that, and if coin just doubles the number of transactions, I'm thinking to myself, that's probably a good thing. Could coin double? Yeah, coin could double. Maybe it's not going to double tomorrow, but we get regulations. It's a commodity or a security. All of these things happen, and you're onshore, and this and that. I'm like, maybe coin's a long-term winner here. So I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
No, it's a good thesis. I mean, I think there's some value to that. The other one that was interesting was MicroStrategy.
Yeah, this one's different, right? This one I look at.
Different. Yeah, this is definitely different. MicroStrategy has a software business, so they do have recurring revenues.
Yeah, but also, I mean, there's again, right? I've actually said this on my channel, and I'll get hate for it, but it's okay. Michael Saylor is the chief Bitcoin mouthpiece. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know what to call it.
Absolutely.
Proponent.
No question.
One of the things that happens when you're the biggest, you can never sell.
Right.
Now, he said he's never going to sell, so that's cool. But he is no longer the CEO of MicroStrategies. So I think he's still on the board, so he has some clout, but he's not the CEO anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This thing breaks down and goes sub 10, and your cost of coin is 46,000. You're upside down gazillions of dollars. Is there a point where the acting CEO says, I have to sell this and get it off my book? I don't know. MicroStrategies can never sell one coin. He is too big. Selling a coin, one coin, destroys this because everybody else will sell. He can never sell. Never, ever sell.
Yeah, no, everybody's watching. And I saw an interview with him on Friday or Thursday. And he said, I wish that we could separate Bitcoin from the rest of crypto.
Yeah, I heard that one too.
Bitcoin's getting a bad name because they're associated with crypto, which is not wrong. Mm-hmm. I mean, Bitcoin does have some
unique attributes.
Unique attributes that are different than most of the other cryptos out there. There's something like 20,000 cryptocurrencies.
Well, 90% of that stuff's garbage. Yeah.
And like I said, there's only 3 or 4 at the most that are worth even considering as an investment. If anybody on your channel is thinking about or probably already owns crypto, maybe you'll get hate mail.
Okay.
Thankfully,
I've been clear.
Thankfully, you'll get the hate mail, not me.
Yeah, so I mean, I've always been clear with my audience. I own a little bit more than a single coin of Bitcoin, and I own, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 20 Ethereum, but these are stuff I bought over a year ago now,
Right.
and I've never looked. I just don't look at it. It was an insurance policy the day I buy it, and I don't look at my insurance policy. So
Yeah.
there it is.
Yeah, that's fine. If you have extra money and you've got money, it's like going to the casino in Las Vegas.
It's
You only
1% of my
you
net
only
worth.
bet with your what you're willing to
Yeah,
lose.
it's 1% of my net worth. It's 100% insurance policy, and I don't look at it. I am not a crypto fan, but I don't
Right.
mind having an insurance policy just in case I'm wrong.
So while we're on this, sort of on this topic, here's a Bitcoin chart. This is a weekly chart. You can see there how it's dropped off a cliff again. So it's below 20,000. Here's the support right there. It's about 12,000. So it could very, very easily and very quickly get to 12,000.
Okay.
That's Bitcoin, and
Yep.
Bitcoin does have some value.
Yep.
And while we're in this sort of world, let's say, here's the dollar talking about dropping off a cliff.
Yep, it did.
And I said before, as we were watching this go up, I said, if it gets below this blue line, which is the 21-day moving average, that's a reversion to the mean. If it goes below that, then it could drop very quickly. And Friday is when that happened.
Yep.
Actually, this is a weekly chart, so that's the whole week right there. You can see the rate of change right here. You see it's been just been going up, but right now it's just dropped off. And how will that affect gold? Well, gold suddenly has new life. Gold is starting to climb. Here's a gold chart right here. So you can see gold starting to take off.
Yeah, I remember you bringing this up the other day. Yeah, or last week or the week before. Yeah.
Yep. And then copper too. Copper's heading up. This is Freeport-McMoRan, which is a copper company. They just got above their 200-day moving average last week.
Well, that's good.
So from a stock perspective, that's one to watch. Now it looks like it's got a shooting star right there, which is a reversing candle. So it may come back down. It needs to come back down to, reversion to the mean. But that's one to watch as well. On the gold side, these are GDXs and ETF for gold miners. So you can buy this just like a stock if you want to play gold that way.
Yep.
It's at about $29. Copper gold. Here's the bonds on the left-hand side and the 10-year treasury on the right-hand side. Again, this is a weekly chart. So I think these moves, these are inversely proportional to each other.
Yeah.
So as the 10-year yield goes down, bonds will go up. You can see that move is just beginning.
Yeah.
For both of them.
Okay.
And to finish this off, I'd like to finish it off with a VectorVest scan. I showed this last week. I think I showed how I created all the sectors here. And this one here this is the technology sector, which had a huge boost on Thursday.
Yep.
With a good CPI number, technology is back in favor. So I wanted to see which ones have new buys, which ones have suddenly got a new buy in VectorVest. But I want to do something else. So this scan up here says it's a buy today, but yesterday it was not a buy.
Right.
Gave me all of these. Well, what about a week ago? Let's look at last week. It was not a buy last week, but it is a buy today. So if I run that scan, here's what I get. And I can go over here and look at the sectors. And you can see electronics, software, semiconductors.
Yeah, NVIDIA reports next week.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of semiconductors really started to take off. So these are the ones that it gave me. This one down here is really interesting too. This is a energy renewable energy play, the renewable energy space.
Yeah.
So
Very
that
cool.
one looks pretty good. So there's lots of good opportunities in here. Semiconductors look like they're about ready to turn, or they've already started turning.
Did you buy anything Thursday or Friday?
I did buy a semi. I bought Marble.
Okay. Cool.
I don't think Marble is on this particular chart. But this is a semiconductor here. This is a good one right here, ACLS.
Very cool.
So that's what that one looks like, but Marble actually went up as well.
Nice.
So here's Marble right here.
Okay.
So that's now above its 50-day. All of these are below their 200-day, but they're getting up above their 50. So they could actually have, you can see, look at the earnings. That's what I like to see, that nice 45-degree angle on earnings going up. And the momentum is just starting to move up on that one as well.
Well, do me a favor, show your newsletter because I got to get ready for my next call.
Sure. Yeah. The other one I bought was QLD, which is a two
what is
times the NASDAQ.
Oh, wow.
So it's an ETF that pays 2 times the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ went up 7% Thursday. So it was up 14%. That's a short-term play. That's not something you want to stay in for a long term.
These are not investments. These are trades. This is what he's doing. He knows his risk profile, sizing, blah, 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 not financial advice.
Yep. Sizing is really important. So my newsletter is breakpointtrading@gmail.com. By the way, if I do put up a YouTube, I can do scans like that on a daily basis. Show what kind of stocks are starting to move.
You're gonna get I don't know, dozens of comments asking for you to create a channel. Yeah,
I'm considering it.
Yep.
All right, breakpointtrading@gmail.com. Just send me an email. I'll add you to the list and send you last week's newsletter. And it's free. If you want to be taken off, just let me know and I'll remove you.
Yeah, I think your channel is called Breakpoint Trading. Don't overcomplicate it. Thanks, buddy.
All right, you bet.